It's another special edition of Litter Media Live. Today we're talking about Joseph and the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. Chillicothe Civic Theater is putting this on next weekend. We're talking about December 13th, 14th, and 15th. Details in just a moment, but first, this from Adena Health.
Mark came to the Adena Orthopedic and Spine Institute in severe arm pain from a degenerative disc. Minimally invasive spinal surgery got him back to what matters most. At Adena, we do what we love, so you can too.
CCT ready to produce, but not at their new home. They're back at the Majestic Theater because this is going to be a pretty big show. We have with us today Melissa Lawson to my immediate left here. She is the music director for this production. Also, the narrator and Potipher's wife is Anne, and help me with the last name again.
Feltis.
Feltis, Anne Feltis. She's the seductress in this production. And also, Mark Gnatowski is with us. He is the guy that has the real colorful coat. You're a walking work of art, right?
Yes, indeed.
Get a little closer to those microphones,
Sure.
Because we want people to be able to hear what you have to say. First, Melissa, how many songs are in this production?
Oh gosh, I have tabs in my planner, but I would say probably
27.
27. Yeah. So, and does that include the reprises and the
27 includes the reprises.
Yeah,
There's
so I think
five
it's like
of them that are reprises.
Yeah, I was going to say about 21 or so that are different from anything else in it. So.
As a musical and as performers, it has to be difficult to remember all those songs, I would think, anyway.
Well, musically, it repeats a lot of the same themes, and it's all very pop-based. So, there's a country song in it, there's a calypso song, there's several rock versions, there's a tango. So if you know the chord structures of those, it's easy to figure out where the music itself is going, but it is hard to learn all the lyrics, and there are 2 hours worth of them.
Right. And you have to have very versatile singers as well.
Definitely, and we do.
That can sing all of those different type of styles.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very nice. Mark, what drew you to this production, and how did you land the lead?
Well, this is my third CCT show this year. So I originally started out the year by playing Judge Turpin, the villain, in Sweeney Todd. Then I was the baker in our production of Into the Woods in the summer. And then this time I came back because I first did this role about 10 years ago when I was in high school. So it was nice to be able to come back to a role for the first time and, maybe have a little bit less to learn, just learn some new choreography.
Yeah. Plus, Joseph's a little bit different than the baker in this production, right?
Yes.
From the baker that you performed previously. And what drew you to your particular character?
My character, well, that was just a fun surprise. But I wanted to audition for Joseph primarily because my children are also in Joseph. So they are age 7 and 5. Nora and Lydia, and I thought I'd been in Sweeney Todd earlier this year. Those kids could not see Sweeney Todd for reasons you would know if you've seen Sweeney Todd. So I thought this would be a fun opportunity for us to do some art together. So it's been a really interesting challenge.
And I gotta imagine it's different for a family to do it in this fashion too.
It is. We don't do it alone. I have a wonderful, supportive husband and a mother-in-law who's like our third parent. So I'm very lucky to have that.
Yeah, I've lost track of how many colors are in the Dreamcoat itself. I know in the song lyrics it's like almost 30. You may as well vocalize them if you'd like.
Yeah.
Red and yellow, green, brown, scarlet, black, ochre, peach, ruby, olive, violet, fawn, lilac, gold, chocolate, mauve, cream, crimson, silver, rose, azure, lemon, russet, gray,
Purple, white, pink, orange, blue.
And it repeats a couple in there. But
It's much wider than the rainbow spectrum.
and not in order.
Right. So Joseph's character, of course, goes from a sheepskin coat to this multicolor, beautiful dream coat. What's it like to put that on?
It's fun. It's actually the coat from my high school production. So I ended up going up to Columbus and pulling some favors in order to get that back so that we had one less thing to make. So it's fun putting it back on. It's definitely stretched out a little bit. Either that or I've shrunk somewhat. Can't tell which. But it's good to put it back on.
It has a great flounce with it, too. Every time he spins, it's like, oh.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
It
dazzling.
is truly flashy. What school do we have to thank for loaning that to you?
Bishop Reedy High School in Columbus.
Okay, very nice, very nice. Last time I saw the coat was in an episode of Seinfeld. Many of you might have seen that episode with Kramer walking the streets, and he gets arrested as a pimp in that. But do you have a pimp feel to you when you wear this on?
A little bit when you're running around and spinning around a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know many folks are familiar with the biblical story from the book of Genesis, but what about you folks trying to tell the story through music? How closely related to it is the story?
Very, although despite it being originally made to be a cantata, it does leave out mentions of God in any form, but the story itself is the same. It just adds music to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've not seen the whole production from start to finish, but seen bits and pieces of it. And what an incredible story. It really is. I mean, you're sold into slavery and the whole deal, and next thing you know, you're a governor of Egypt, you know, and able to help your family again, the ones who were the wrongdoers. But the one who's not mentioned in the story is God, who makes a way to save the people of Israel all through this story. Incredible, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So how many cast members do you have now?
I should know this.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
Let me think, 12, 13, 14, 19.
And this is on stage
I think
performers,
22 or 23.
right? And behind the scenes, there's plenty more.
Yes.
So you have to have those folks to make sure that all
Absolutely.
this happens. In regards to how we can get tickets for the show, what do we need to do?
Your best bet is to go to cctoh.booktix.com.
I believe that's on the flyer for the show itself.
I believe so. And we also have a Facebook and a web page, but that's the most direct method.
This is, Mark said, your third performance that you've been with him this year. This is the final performance for this year, right?
Yes.
Okay. But through the CCT, there's children's theater and all kinds of things going on as well. Have you been able to rehearse any of these acts at your theater yourself compared to being able to get into the Majestic? Because I know, like tonight, for instance, they've got Rock for Tots set up.
Right. So what we do, because the Majestic stage is so huge compared to what we have, we clear off the entire audience. And we really use the stage as the backstage portion and a place to sit and to do all the painting. And then we use the floor where the audience would normally sit to do our rehearsing. So they have, and then there'll still be a little bit of stretching to make sure we fill the whole space when we move there.
Yeah, because when you get there, suddenly you're on the big floor.
Right.
You know, and then you have to make your mind go wider. The rehearsals, I imagine from my band days, we used to have sectionals and we would break off and do the same thing for a show like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've broken off. We've had a couple solo things, mostly though those people have learned things on their own. It's been a great cast in terms of that. We had sectionals with just the narrators because they sing in harmony for a substantial portion of the show. And other than that, it's mostly the people who play the brothers versus the ensemble, and then a children's choir as well.
Yeah. Now there's 11 brothers, aren't there? Mm-hmm. So because there's 12 altogether in Joseph's family. So you've got that many in the cast. Were they hard to put together in regards to the brothers?
You mean when we put them all together and rehearse at the same time?
Well, in regards to when you're having tryouts and everything.
Well, it's always an adventure to see what you're going to get. So the ideal would be, of course, to have a cast of like 50-some. In theory, nobody actually wants to deal with a cast of 50 people, but it would be great to have that many voices to round out the sound. Mm-hmm. But, you know, you have who comes to your auditions, and we just got really lucky. We had some great soloists and a lot of people who also maybe aren't as experienced, but are very willing to learn. So,
and as we've learned with Tecumseh, do you have people playing two parts in the show, or?
Yes.
Because I know you're narrating also,
I
right?
am. So that'll be a fun switch. Yes. Was there others? I'm trying to remember.
We also have Tom Perrin is playing both Jacob and the Pharaoh.
Aha. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Reverend Tom, way to go, buddy. We appreciate that. In regards to putting this show on, what do you want people to see? What stands out to you most, Ann, for this program? You got a favorite scene that you like? And Mark, be thinking about yours because you've done it twice.
Well, it's not just because I'm not in it, but Close Every Door is my favorite. The ones that I'm in, that's my favorite, is the finale of Any Dream Will Do. You don't want to miss it.
It's so good.
Chills.
When you see the music director cross her heart, you know that it's got to be a touching moment.
Yeah, I'm partial to the finale as well. I think it's one of my favorite pieces in the entire show.
Yeah. Do you expect any of your Bishop Reedy classmates to come by and see this?
Yeah, I've had a couple people travel down from Columbus this year already, including some folks that I went to Ohio State with for undergrad. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping that a couple of them can make it down. I know it's a bit of a far drive, but really grateful to those who can make it down. And my high school director will as well.
Oh, well, and they'll be here to take the coat back, I'm sure, or to make sure nothing happens to the coat. Sounds like it's going to be a fun performance, and I'm sure you've had a blast getting it ready.
It's full of campy humor
Yeah.
and bad jokes. And so it's a lot of fun to pull those together and see ways that Cassie, our primary director, has interpreted those things differently than previous performances, or tweaked it a little bit to give it a modern feel, or something that suits CCT a little better than what other people have done.
Now, Aaron, if you can bring that slide back up again, take a look here. You'll see that there is a 7 o'clock performance on Friday, a 2 o'clock performance both Saturday and Sunday, and another performance at 7 o'clock on Saturday evening. So you've got that double header on Saturday. Is this going to be a difficult performance to pull off a double header like that? You think? You don't know?
Yeah, I think it is, but we can do it.
Yeah.
We've been practicing. We're ready. We want to show it to as many people as we can.
I think there will be some hot tea in between both of those shows for sure, just to be able to get ready to sing it twice. But
Because that's a lot of singing for one performance, let alone two. So maybe you can prepare yourself by holding back a little bit. No, you won't want to do that at all.
No, we have really very healthy vocalists, like people who use their voices well. So that's a real relief that we know nobody's going to.
Now, as we're talking about this, you're a week away from the first night of performance. What can we expect over the next few days here to prepare for the performance? Just a lot of rehearsal?
Well, Sunday's our big move-in day. So we gather up everything that we've prepared set-wise. We'll take it over to the Majestic, get a feel for the space, work out some spacing details, and maybe figure out logistics for a couple finishing touches. And then other than that, it's going to be run the show each night, figure out ways to utilize the space a little bit better, figure out if we need to tweak timing on things, and just polish.
Yeah. And we're talking about a 2-hour show. Okay. Intermission at any point in time? Or
Yes. I don't know where it falls exactly. Just about the middle, I would say, like that in the mega mix.
give you a chance to stretch your legs, go out and get some popcorn, that sort of thing. But no popcorn for you guys because you are singing. We don't want the interference. Anything that I've missed that you wanted to share?
No, other than just saying that Cassie, our director, has done a really nice job putting this together.
As you would never know that she's a first-time director, and she choreographed almost the entire show as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was not planning to, but our existing choreographer had to step back, and so she's like, guess I'm going to make up some dances, and she did, and they're great.
Yeah. And Cassie's last name?
Buyer.
Buyer. Okay, very good. Thank you so much for coming in to talk about this, and perhaps we might be able to sneak over with a camera to get some shots next week while you're rehearsing. That would be awesome.
That'd be great.
Once again, Ann Feltis, also Mark Gnatowski, and
Melissa.
Last name?
Lawson.
Okay. Forgive me. I should have all that together, but I've been floating on head cold medicine this week. So my many apologies here. But once again, the show is going to be on December 13th, 14th, and 15th. Again, 4 performances, 2 of them on Saturday, 1 at 2, 1 at 7, and then you got 7 on Friday, 2 o'clock on Sunday. Chillicothe Civic Theater. Just take a look at their Facebook page. You'll be able to find out all the information you need. Thank you again for stopping by.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching, and thanks again to Adena Health sponsoring this particular segment of Litter Media Live.